First, I'm going to show you the workflow, what we did, what changes were made. And second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you effectively what's the benefit, what's the new updates and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So first of all, let's walk you through what the update is. Okay. So you see it, it's like almost the same as before. What's the difference? Okay. All right. So, okay. So now this is the new update as of today. Okay. So this is the question, right? I got this last week. Okay. So what's new here? Okay, cool. Let's talk about it. So first of all, if you go in to create music, you'll see this new icon that'll be pre-selected. Okay. So we've literally from the ground up, basically worked on this to make it really, really good. Okay. This, the quality of it and stuff like that. So, basically because of that, okay, it allows you to do certain things that you couldn't do before. Okay. So one of the things when it comes to generating music, right? If you look at it, a couple of things are really, really important. One is obviously the quality, right? If I write this down here real quick. So one would be the quality of the music. And the second thing obviously is the, right, flexibility of dictating the terms using AI, right? So meaning you have an idea, you have a keyword, and then how do you turn that into a music thing where you wanted something to be unique, you want something to be basically, if you will, in your vision. So let's say you want it to be a mix of jazz and also hip hop. You want it to be also a mix of pop and rock. You get the point, right? So that is very important when it comes to music. So we've been working on it, like how do you make it as great as possible? And also the other thing is how do you make it multilingual? Okay. And I'll answer some questions on this as well. So how do you do it in 50 plus languages? Okay. So that way it sounds amazing from the get-go. All right. So let's do that step by step right now. Okay. These three things I'm going to talk about. So first of all, when you talk about quality, it's a very straightforward thing. When you create a music file, it should not have sudden abrupt ending. When you're doing a music file, it should not have a sudden cut or something. It should be where it is seamless start to finish. What was happening when you do with AI generally is that for some reason, let's say this is the timeline of the song. Sometimes like around here, it doesn't do like a nice transition end, meaning the song is done. And then now you have a nice transition towards the end. For some reason that was happening in some cases, especially in multilingual, for example. The other problem is the ability to pick the gender of the singer, but not just the gender, but the attributes of the singer. So let's say you're saying for children's rhymes, let's say you need a very peppy type of very nice, positive style music, right? So then we have to have the attributes of that person as well. I mean, you want to have that style. So this was another thing with music. When it comes to this idea of, I have this idea, just generate me, you have to also account for this aspect of the peppiness in certain tones. Like if you're saying opera, it's very vocal heavy, less to do with music, right? So these are the things that we've kind of optimized to make it really, really good. Okay. So this is what I want to show you today that we've done. And there's another feature as well I'll show you that we added, which is pretty cool. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about this right here. So you'll see when you come here, you're going to see lyrics. Okay. And then in here, it's going to say your lyrics, AI generated lyrics, correct? So I'll pick AI generated lyrics. And then here, what I'm going to show you is that the interesting thing is that what you show here also applies in the style of the actual song. Okay, that's what makes it super awesome. So for example, if I say, and I'll show you in multiple languages as well, by the way. So if you say something like children's rhyme, but with about a baby's first day out in the park and first swim in the pool, correct? This is the lyrics, okay? Now, what if I want it to be sung by a female and also I want it to be sung in a very peppy, if you will, very interesting tone? Historically, you could just click like this kids rhymes thing. That was one way to do it, right? But what I wanted to be a little bit more in this in terms of style. So here you can dictate it what you want. Okay. So what I can say is like, now for example, I can say a female vocal children's rhyme that is very positive and very happy in tone. That's just my idea, right? I just wanted to be a female vocal, a children's rhyme. And then if I wanted to be a male, same logic, right? Let's say a male vocal, whatever. So you do the same thing, right? So let's say this is the basic prompt, right? Or the idea, let's say, okay? I'm not putting commas or anything. What we did is we've done this where it says enhance with AI, right? You'd want to select this always, okay? When you get the idea. So if we put it in simple terms, I put my idea, okay, of the style here, okay? And here I can put attributes of the singer, okay? And then I can then put the lyrics idea here. So it's kind of like step one, step two kind of thing. And basically you can then effectively create the style that you desire, right? Effectively, you can get it whatever you want to do. And so let me show you here. So when you do enhance with AI, right? A female vocal children's rhyme that's very positive and very happy in tone, and enhance it, click on this. Okay. Now what it's doing is you see the children's nursery rhyme, right? And there's like this style and the piano and cheerful vocals, upbeat tempo, on and on and on. Okay. Now you can use this enhanced style. Now what happens is when it generates the actual song, it keeps these styles in play. Now let me show you another thing. What if you wanted to have a children's rhyme in the style of a mix of an opera, lullaby, right? And a rhyme in a positive, peppy female vocal, right? Peppy, young, whatever. And then now, see what I'm saying? It's a mix of an opera, a lullaby, and a rhyme. Okay. So now you click enhance, do this. Now you can mix and match styles like this to make things more unique. All right. You see this? It's going to do it basically this style, orchestral strings and all that. You do the enhancement and it's going to have this whole style, right? Like whimsical and all that. It just makes up stuff that makes sense here. And then now you can generate it again. And then I'm going to put language as English for now. I'll tell you why I did that, by how you do it in multilingual in just a sec. And then you can, generate it in the lyrics. And I'll show you something here. Even the lyrics take into account all the instructions I've given in both places. Does that make sense? The lyrics idea and also the style. So it'll take into account that. And then if it's a positive style, it's going to make a positive, peppy, bright, sunny day kind of style. Maybe it's like a little bit sad or whatever, like a breakup song or something, is going to take into that style as well. Okay. So this is the basic idea. Does that make sense? So then we can say children's rhyme with a mix of a lullaby and an opera, whatever, right? Lullaby. Right. So you can do that and you generate music. I'll show you how this will sound like in just a second. But while this is doing, it's going to take about like a minute or so, 30 seconds or something to generate. I'll show you something else here. So let's go back here and I'll show you create music. And then I'll answer some questions you're asking me as well here in just a sec. All right. So let's imagine I want to do the same thing, but in Spanish, let's say, as a language, right? So what you would do is the same logic, but now here the style would be in that direction, right? So for example, let's say if it's in Spanish, you would say something like rima, which is rhyme, infantil, and then you can say as I said, tema de, which is I guess, something like, my Spanish is not good. I'm learning, by the way. So that's subject, right? Tema de, let's say, niños. Primero día, right? Like first day. And niños dancing, right? Or something, right? Whatever. And then this is the thing. And here you will want to put the same style. And the cool thing is you can describe it in English here too, if you want. There's flexibility there. It will learn on its own. Here, what I can say is in this particular case, my language is not that good. I could even go back here and put the same thing, copy and paste it, right? And it will enhance it in that style. And I can write here whatever I want to write here. I can put, let's say, if I want it in, let's say, like a canción para let's say, for example, kids, right? Or something like that. And then if you want to say something like a singer is basically a female, you write that too here. You get the point, right? Same logic. And then it will write it in this style. And many times it will be in English, so don't worry though, because the idea is that we still, like we have to kind of put like these instruments, right? So the way it is training behind the scenes, right, is like it still gives that in English. So if you're good in that language, in other languages, okay. But don't worry if you see it in English, all right? Not a big problem. Here you want to give it in Spanish, let's say, and then you would do it and create music. Now what's going to happen is it's going to generate the lyrics as well, like you see. And in this particular case, what I did was I put your lyrics. I should have done AI generated. You get the point, right? Same logic here. And then it will generate that too. Like I actually did that. I'll show you under my audios here. Like I did the Spanish song. I'll play this in just a sec. Now, what if you don't know how to speak that language, right? Or write it in that language. So let's say, for example, languages like Hindi or something, right? I don't know how to write it. So like I can go into like make a chat GPT or whatever, and I can say the same thing. And I can say, like in this particular case, I'm going to use Google Gemini or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Any AI tool, any free tool, doesn't really matter. So here, what I'm going to show you is you can say something like translate this to Hindi. And you can say children's rhyme sang by a female singer on the topic of a baby's first day in the park and first swim in the pool, right? And the adventure that comes with it, right? Whatever. So, if there's a children's rhyme, I don't know how to write it in that language. Let's say it will write it in that language, and then it'll give it to you in that translated terms. Now, why this is important basically is because you want to have the context to be correct, right? So I can just copy and paste this thing, whatever it wrote, and then I can go back here, and in the lyrics, I will click on this AI generated stuff in the lyrics like so, and then I will basically put that in. And I'll get that in there. Okay. So this is the idea. So now you go in here and then you click on this. All right. And then you come back here. You see this right here. And then you would go in and you can click on the style now, enhancement style. And you could even kind of paste the same thing if you're kind of lazy like me, but you can even go a little bit detailed here, obviously, right? And go enhance with AI. So the system automatically smart enough to detect the language and translate it over into English format like so. You see this? It gives you the style, acoustic guitar, piano, blah, blah, blah. I have no idea half the things. So now here, you can put the language, and then you're going to put Hindi as the language. You're going to pick as one of those 50 languages, and we'll be adding more languages with time. And so I'll click on the lyrics. So now it's going to generate the lyrics using that style, you see, and in that way. Now, you can go a little bit advanced too, by the way, on this stuff if you want. But up to you. You can even regenerate the lyrics like so on the top, and you'll regenerate the lyrics, obviously, right? And it's going to generate the lyrics like this. And then now you can say, right, song, let's say children's rhymes in Hindi or something, and then you generate. Okay, so then it will generate it. So like, let's play this stuff. So for this, I have to kind of share my screen one more time. Let me do that so you can hear it. Okay, I'm going to mute myself also you can see the stuff. So all right, let's share my screen and I'll answer all your questions as well. I'm seeing all your questions. Don't worry, no question will be left unanswered is a better way to say it, I guess. All right, so here. All right, so cool. We'll add this in. All right, so let's do it one by one here. So the first one we're going to do, let's say, is this one, right? A children's rhyme with the mix. What is it? Mix of a lullaby and a rhyme, whatever. So we can just play this thing, which we did a few minutes ago. So this is where I told it mix the children rhyme with a lullaby with opera or whatever, right? I have no clue how it will come out. So let's listen to it here.
Tiny toes touch the soft green grass today. Bright yellow sun shines while we play. Big blue sky watches over your small head. Better than napping in your little bed. First day out under the big bright sun, laughing and splashing, having some green trees.
I'll kind of show you what the other thing we fixed as well. So you see here, this is the song timeline, right? Here, one of the things we used to notice with some like 10%, 5%, 8, 2% of time, depending on which language. In English, it was less. In other languages, sometimes more. Is like you see this part here, like this end part, which I'm just drawing around. This part, sometimes the transition has to go slowly down. It was abruptly stopping. And that's something we fixed because you had to rebuild the whole algorithm from scratch to kind of focus on that to do properly. So that's the whole new system in it. So it will never, ever abruptly cut again. And we're throwing the whole kitchen sink at it to ensure that doesn't happen, make it the best quality possible. So if I fast forward this, you'll see what I'm talking about. So in the end, like let me go to the very end here, last few seconds. So you'll see how the transition goes down slowly without abrupt cutting. All right.
Around beneath the tall green trees.
There you go. You see? So that's the basic idea. And of course, you'll see one other cool thing we did here. This is a little icon here. So when you go in here, when you click on this, it'll show you what was the actual style used. So you can copy that. You can see the lyrics used and all that kind of stuff. So you can reuse it for later. Okay. If you want to recreate the project later on, or you like certain elements of that and you want to do that, stuff like that, basically. You get the point. So that's the basic idea as well of why this is so powerful. Cool. All right, now let's listen to this other language one we did. I will actually show you like this one as well, the Spanish song first, and I'll show you some other languages as well. Again, the idea is that you can mix and match multiple things. That's the beautiful part here. So let's see here.
Cada mañana al despertar, guardo mis cosas en su lugar. Con orden todo es mejor y el día brilla con esplendor. Disciplina es el camino para forjar nuestro destino. Con constancia y atención logramos cada gran misión. Hago mis tareas con gran esmero, sin dejar nada para luego. Si soy
There you go, right? So basically this is it. Again, you can mix and match things. You can play around with the end and a little bit change the, like if you wanted to change certain things, you can do so. The other thing is, this is the other language you were discussing. Let's do that as well. Let's play this. This is the one in Hindi.
नन्हे कदम आज पार्क की हरी घास पर चलते हैं। सूरज की सुनहरी किरणें तेरे गालों को चूमती है। रंग बिरंगे फूलों के बीच तू खुशी से खिलखिलाती है। तेरी पहली
You get the point, right? So that's the B. And here, did you notice one interesting thing? This is what I was trying to tell you. This was a male vocal. See, you could tweak it. So if, let's say, you want a male vocal and you didn't like it, you want it to be female, you can go back and go to create music. And in this section here, you will say it is a female. Because see, if I go back here, this was what I told, right? A children's rhyme, I'm a female singer, and it didn't take that female singer part, because when the translation came, it probably made a mess of it. So how you'd want to do in that case, if this is the case, is you can go back here and prompt it again. So what you would do, so let's say this is, again, let's say I'm going to copy this part. This is what the beauty here of this new update we made. So if you come here, this is the language, right? Here you can say, okay, a female and whatever the idea was, this English way of writing it, I can do it because our styling is still done in English because the AI understands English better. Okay, so you enhance it. This time around, it will make sure that the singer is always a female, you see, and stuff like that. So next time I'll show you this exact example, go back into it, and now I can force the gender. This was a big thing a lot of you folks were requesting, gender being able to be controlled, right? So while this is generating, I also wanted to answer a couple of other questions. Well, let me say female, Hindi, rhyme, whatever, right? So let's just click on this. I want to answer one question that came in. It's a really good question. I want to address that as well. Um, this is the one, right? So this is like, can I make an instrumental with the same method of input? Good question. So we've done it two ways. So one was we've updated the instrumental. Like you see this create instrumental as effects option here in the bottom, this one right here. So we've updated that as well. So create instrumental. And then you go in here and then, like you see non-instrumental, instrumental. We've updated this so you can add that and describe what you want to generate. And then epic music or whatever, you can do that. We've also, I would suggest to do it this way here, because it makes sure all the time it is, let's say epic battle music will have orchestra, instrumental will only have instrumentals like piano or whatever. In the case of here, you can still kind of make it work by forcing it to only do instrumentals, but the issue here is the lyrics, right? What were you going to put in the lyrics are this? So that's the reason why I would suggest just use this feature, create instrumental for that use case. Okay, so that way it'll be easier. Now, so the instrumental option will make your life easier. You can say like you see how it says epic battle music or something. You can say epic orchestra or battle music with lots of drums or something, right? And you can click on this enhance prompt and it'll write it in that style anyway. And then you can do it and you can put the duration here, however long you want it. Yeah. So if it's like, let's say I want it to be 30 seconds, I can do 30 seconds and generate it. And the same applies for the other option you saw, which was the instrumental stuff where, let me show you, instrumental stuff here, instrumental, same logic applies here as well. Okay. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention here is that question that came in was, can I download the instrumentals and vocals separately as well? Yeah, we're working on this. That'll be coming up next. Actually, the way we wanted to approach this is in two ways, right? And we'll tell you that in the next update. I'll announce that in a bit. So the way it works is like the use case, right? Let's discuss that. One of the biggest issues people have is, let's say, for example, they have a vocal, right? Like I'm singing, right? Like I'm singing on my microphone, let's say, for example, and I don't have any background orchestra playing, right? So what you could do, and that's the feature we're working on, and it's going to be part of the Create Music next, is you can upload your vocal song and automatically it's going to generate the background music. Does that make sense? That is more of a use case than separating it. Because why are you separating it? You're separating it for that reason, right? To ensure that in some cases where you have a vocal only and you're not happy with the background music, or you just doesn't have a background music, but you want to make it into a professional song, you just upload it and adds the music based upon the genre of the song and the style of the song. It'll create the music with AI, right? That's the new update. We actually are internally testing it right now. It'll be ready soon. Okay. Now, there was another question that came in. I'll answer. Then we'll get to some other cool things I want to share with you. Is the question of like, so you bought Artistly. I saw this invite. So Artistly is also our application. Artistly generates AI images and stuff like that, of course, and storybooks and all that. CloneVoice is also our other application. That's why you got this invite. What we did is we've integrated Artistly together to communicate with CloneVoice application, which I'm showing you right now as well. So that means, in other words, if you go in, like you see here, into the dashboard, into the settings, right? I'll show you actually. Wait one sec. Go back here one sec. So if you go into your dashboard of your profile, and you can actually go in and integrate it. So like, I'll show you in just a sec. If you go to the tutorial section, you have something called the Artistly storyboard feature, right? And that is the integration. You see this, integrating CloneVoice and Artistly together. So what it means is like, let's say, for example, you created a storybook in Artistly, and then you want to add a song. Then this will generate the song and merge that into your storybook, for example, right? And also there's so many other cool things you can do with that integration. So that is basically the reason why all our applications like this. And if you don't have CloneVoice, hey, this is a good time to get CloneVoice.ai, right? So basically, you'll see all our applications, by the way, in this link, even the CloneVoice one. So if you can get it, you'll do that. So this is the integration stuff, okay? So the idea is that when you have Artistly and you want to do more than just storybooks, you want to add music and stuff, you can basically communicate with each other, both applications. You just need to own both of them, in this case, CloneVoice and Artistly. They communicate with each other, and then they will talk with each other, basically. Does that make sense? And then they will basically be able to generate a storybook with background music, and then add that extra stuff. Or let's say you can bring in the cloned voices and Clone Voice, right? Because it also is a voice cloning technology where you can sing in your own voice or also talk in your own voice, for example, or any voice. And then effectively you can bring those voices into Artistry as well for your storybook narration and some use cases like that. Okay. So hope that answers that question. Now, this is a very good question as well. I saw this Gujarati question here. Then there was also one where this one right here, I wanted it in Nepali and stuff like that. So a good update for you. So what we are working on, which is the next update for CloneVoice, and again, the integrations will also work with Artistly, Video Express and stuff with this, is right now, right? So let's do it like this. Now, if you go, right, into, let's say, create audio, right? Create audio, and you see languages, original languages, you'll see these languages here, correct? Okay. When you go to Clone Voice as well, and then you see language, you'll see these languages, correct? So what we're planning on in the next update should be coming in soon, because we're doing the final testing as well. So now let's say we do about 50 languages, okay, for voice cloning, voice generation, and stuff like that. So 50 languages we do now, okay? So the new update, see, this is why we keep updating stuff, because technology keeps changing so much, is the new update coming up soon, which is I'm super excited about, allows you to do 400 plus languages. So voice cloning and voice generation. And I give you some generic voices as well. But we suggest you to clone as well. So that's the major update. That will make it even bigger than Google's text-to-speech, even bigger than Microsoft's text-to-speech language one. It'll be more than Amazon's own text-to-speech. It's the biggest ever platform. There's no platform out there which can do more than 400 languages, voice cloning and voice generation, meaning like you can even generate generic voices with these languages. That's going to be the new one coming up very soon. We've been working really hard on that. So that's going to be super exciting. Are you excited about that? Let me know. So it's 400 plus languages coming in. It's in the final stages, should be up very, very soon. Okay. Basically. All right. Now, is that exciting or what? Because that's going to cover pretty much every language in the world. I mean, unless it's like in some middle of nowhere and it's in like some kind of a native village. There's like 100 people speaking some dialect. Maybe that won't be, but otherwise, pretty much every language you can imagine. Okay. So yeah, so like stuff like this, Nigerian Pidgin, English, stuff like that. This is what we're talking about. Should be covered in these 400. Okay. Yes, this is in there. Okay. Bhojpuri should be in there. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's the next one. That's going to make it super awesome. And the idea also with this, guys and gals who are here, think of it this way, right? Because the next part of the training I want to discuss with you today is, let's say you have 400 languages. Now, one of the biggest things that is out there is, let's say you're creating videos. Okay. Let's say you create videos. One of the biggest thing is multilingual, correct? Multilingual content. So what we will do is we will directly integrate these 400 voices using the integration in both Talking Photos, which is our lip sync application, right? So Talking Photos. So you can bring in 400 different languages, create 400 different language lip sync videos, basically. And then you can also do it with our Video Express V3, which is gonna, it's also in the final stages of development, right? So Video Express as well. So these two are going to be in line. So meaning, this is what I keep saying, we're in an ecosystem where a good update like this in CloneVoice will help every application of ours, because the integration will be, you can, as a CloneVoice customer, can bring in those voices, your clone voices in those languages as well, while creating videos, while creating lip sync videos and podcast content, whatever you want to do. That's the exciting stuff we're excited about. So that's going to be in the new update, and it's in the final stages. I tested it personally, so I know it's ready to go. So it's not something that it's away. The only thing is, like, the reason why it's taking a little bit longer, we need some more time, is we're getting people who speak these languages to confirm, hey, it's good or bad, and to adjust the way we do the the systems for the writing and stuff on sometimes the certain pronunciations are different. Some languages are right to left, like Arabic, Hebrew, and stuff like that. So these things we're looking into, seeing how we can structure them and make it work. All right, that's in that's going to be coming up very, very soon near, all right, to a computer near you. All right. So that's going to be pretty cool. And now the other question that came in, which is a good question, like here. Now, this is what I want to talk about that we've done as well, which is the video voice changer. See, one of the things that a lot of the Clone Voice customers, when they purchase Clone Voice, were asking was, hey, I know I can clone my voice for an audio. I know there's a voice changer feature here, right? Where I can basically upload or record an audio, and then I can select my other voice and it will change it, correct? But the use case actually was not audio to audio. It was like video with a voice to another voice, right? Then this could be a different language or whatever. But most importantly, let's say you're speaking Spanish and you're speaking there, and now you want to change that, keeping the lip sync intact. You want to change that into a female person speaking, or maybe let's say the recorded audio was like not that high quality audio. You want to clone, you want to change it to, let's say, higher quality cloned audio, right, of yours, let's say. So that is where we added this new feature, which is the video voice changer, which does exactly this, okay? Which is, we go beyond just an audio, it's gonna do video. So how this works, and it solves a major issue, and you can see that right now, and most of you have access to it. If not, if you're, being asked to leave a review, much of you already left to get this because it's a brand new feature. We're rolling it out all accounts in a week or so you don't have to leave a review if you don't want to, but it takes a couple of seconds to do so. But anyway, how this works is that you drop in a video file of somebody talking, all right? And then let's say it's me or you or whoever, doesn't matter. And then you give it a title, obviously, right? And then the target voice. So in this particular case, I'll show you an example of how this would be structured, right? So let's say, for instance, I want to upload a video. So I'll go back here and I'll upload a video of mine speaking. So I'll show you like an example here. And let me see here a sec. All right. So this is the video, right? I'm uploading a video here. The video is basically, let me also show you how that video looks like while it's uploading. So the basic idea is this is the video of me talking, and then similar to what I have right now. And then I'm going to give it a title, let's say, Paul talking video voice change. Now imagine in scenarios where like you're talking and you're not near the microphone, you're like in a windy location or something like that, or maybe you shot it with your phone and it doesn't have the best quality audio like Clone Voice can do. So then you could do it a target voice you want to change it to. And then here, what I'm going to, just so that you see the actual differentiation, you can actually go in and then you can go to clone, and I'm going to change my voice to Yash's voice. Let's say you see this, Yash's natural voice. So in other words, my voice converted to Yash's voice, right? So, and then I give it here, and then of me talking. So let me show you the original video, then you'll see what I'm talking about. So let me actually pull that up here real quick. So that should answer the question we were discussing, right? So here, let me play this stuff real quick here. All right, so let's play this. For the content writer, the content spinner, and rewriter, as well as the content summarizer application. So basically, you can start using both the applications, which is the human talk that you have here, and the text. So this is me talk, correct? So I uploaded this video here, okay? And then what I did is I gave Yash's voice to change it to Yash's voice. It can also be your voice, by the way, okay? Many cases, the way you want to use this also is because like your voice is not as professional when you're recording the phone or whatever, right? So now you click on Start Video Change, Voice Change, I click here. And I'll show you now the end result because I already did this just a few minutes ago. Let's click on Download. I'll show you this. I'll download the result. And then I'll play this one right now. So you'll see what I mean by that, okay? How the voice gets changed and keeps the lip sync, because that's the trick, right? The lip sync has to be maintained. So that's the new feature we've just added in. So watch this.
For the content writer, the content spinner, and rewriter, as well as the content summarizer application. So basically, you can start using both the applications, which is the human talk that you have here, and the text writer as well, using that instruction. If you have any questions, of course, you can let our support team know. I look forward to seeing you in our training webinars and start using the application and getting great results with it.
All right, you see the difference, right? The voice changed. So the idea is this. Okay, now I saw this question come in. If it's not in your account, just let our support team know. Sometimes, these things, for whatever reason, doesn't show up in some accounts or whatever. So just let our support team, we'll look into it. So you see the support link. Just email our support team here. Let me just remove this. Yeah, in here, like support link, support at CloneVoiceAI or whatever. You should be able to have it. Okay. Okay, that's that clear. All right. Now, the other thing I want to show you is bringing this whole thing together. Clear? So let's discuss this as well. Okay. So far, what did we talk about, right? We talked about basically the music aspect of things, like create music. Now you come in, you do all that work. I just showed you, pretty straightforward. AI generated, it'll do the whole lyrics it'll generate, it'll do it in multiple languages. You can mix and match styles. You can do that in 50+ languages, all that kind of stuff. So that is done by quite like maybe a couple of other applications out there. But this one I'd say is on par with them or even better for the flexibility it provides and languages and all that stuff. So now, what I want to talk about is how do we bring it all together? So one of the things is, let's say, for example, like this is a music file, right? So you have a music file. You want to turn it into a music video, right? Now, this is what I was telling you about earlier, which is the integrations, correct? So one of the integrations we've done, obviously, is with our lip sync technology called Talking Photos. So if I pull up Talking Photos real quick here, let me pull it up. Let's pull that up here real quick. Now, what you can do is very straightforward for those who are familiar with this. But anyway, what I'll do is you can go into Talking Photos, and then you can go to your profile. And then what you could do, like my profile, and you see here, there's a CloneVoice API key. You're going to paste your CloneVoice API key, which is your CloneVoice account specific. All right. Easy to do with tutorials. You'll find it in your profile in CloneVoice, and you can watch the tutorials page for more details. Then you can come to create video. And let's say you're going to singing. So let me just zoom this in a little bit so folks can see it. So you see there's a singing V3.5 here. So if you want to add a singing video, this could be an AI generated person. It could be you, whoever, for example. And if you see here carefully, there is this high quality here. And then there's this other high quality option you want with instrument or you want close up, you decide, doesn't matter. So if you go with instrument, you go in here. I can use a previous character like me here, let's say, and then click select. And then here, you see what happens when I generate the character. I use that pre-existing character here, which can be, and here it says CloneVoice.ai. So the music that you generated previously, right, is going to appear like so right here. You understand? So you can click on import CloneVoice music and it'll all show up here. You see like all these songs here and then modern song, whatever, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can just select whatever you want. And then now you can just go in and then create a completely fully lip synced music video using this process. So you see all, if you come back to it, like this stuff here, right? Like this, you can create a song with the song and the lip sync in any language you desire. Now this is with the instrument. Now you can do it without, like so, right? And this will be talking or whatever. You can get the idea. So with perfect lip sync, right? And this is, as you can see here, from just a photo. So that is the other way to do it. The other thing we're going to talk about more as we roll out Video Express V3 is, you see, this is lip sync video, right? And what if you wanted to do, let's say, beyond that? Let's say you wanted to create, let's say, a children's music video, right? Where there's like multiple cartoon characters playing around or whatever. Video Express will be the best way for it. Same integration, same music system. Now, the difference will be that you can create like different action sequences and stuff like that, right? And that is with Video Express. So that is the other one as well, as we roll out the V3, which we're working really, really hard on, should be coming up soon. Almost there. I know I keep saying that, but almost there for sure. I want to show you something here when it comes to Video Express in particular. Let's see here. All right. Let's see. Yeah. So basically with Video Express, the advantage you're going to have is this will be a track, the music file you're just talking about. And then let's say you want to do all multiple sequences of storytelling. You can just drag and drop these and you can make like really cool stuff. And obviously now the idea will be like the music is going to be part of an entire action sequence or, a storytelling sequence and that sort of thing. Does that make sense? Like you can create like with cartoon realistic and all that kind of stuff. So it goes beyond just lip sync alone. You can do other cool things as well. Again, same logic. So you come in here and then you go to edit profile and you'll see your Clone Voice API key here. You'll see this section right here. You're going to paste your Clone Voice API key, which is in your Clone Voice account, which is unique to your account. And then you bring in all the music files and other stuff, or even the ability to generate with your own voice and use that in the text to speech section, right? For narration or lip sync or whatever, you can bring it into this application. So that's why I say all our applications, they all talk to each other and they're cheapest out there for what they do. And also high quality because we look at your feedback and make it as great as possible. And that's what separates us from everybody else. I mean, let's be honest here, folks, okay? Let's put the elephant in the room, okay? And people keep talking about this and let me discuss this. I mean, realistically, one of the things I want you to understand is stability, right? Even the big companies, like you remember, OpenAI, if you see, you can read it, closes Sora, right? See this? Like if you go to this section, OpenAI closes Sora video making app and their APIs and all that kind of stuff. If you remember, when Video Express released initially, it was like around that time when Sora initially released. It's gone now. Okay. And that's how these companies are. I mean, they try something out. They say, okay, cool. We get people in. Now they're like, it's not big enough of an idea, whatever. We want to zero in on our focus elsewhere and they'll shut it down. That's with OpenAI. That'll be Google, Microsoft, whatever. It doesn't matter. These big corporations. Now, the difference is I have a face here, right? Folks are coming in here, they're complaining or they're not happy about something or they want something improved. Now, if I did the same thing, you would not be happy, correct? We say, okay, thanks guys and gals, Video Express is done, we're shutting it down, move on. So the pressure on us is a lot more than these corporations. So the point I'm trying to make is that is the reason why that separates us from everybody else. What happens is OpenAI is trying to do coding, right? Which we are not. OpenAI is trying to do like media stuff. They recently bought like a podcast studio or so. They want to get into chat, right? Like a chat bot. They want to get into blah, 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 like 10 different things, right? And then what happens is like, because they're stretched thing in 10 different places, they start cutting things out, even if you love using it every day. Now, what happens is time is also more valuable than money. Let me repeat that again. Time is more valuable, infinitely more valuable than money. So then what happens is you spend all this time trying to learn this application, how to use it and all that kind of stuff, and it disappears. The big stress factor for you that happens realistically will be now, where do I start from? All that knowledge and that stuff that I learned is for nothing now because I got to restart somewhere else, right? And that's what I was trying to tell you. We're doing all these integration stuff because we want to put you in the future. And then the other thing is that we're focusing on only those 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 features and concepts or applications, let's say, instead of like 100, right? Or even feature requests you see, right? We're focused on those 5 important features and not like 500, which nobody will use. And we take your feedback. Now, what I think is cool, but it'll take your feedback and make it better and easier and faster, correct? So this is what's happening across the world. We keep hearing people mention this to us where like, hey, I want this feature and I want this. And then oftentimes we come back and we do it. By the time we do it like 3 months later, 2 months later, that feature and the company which even built that feature disappears. It's kind of funny how they shut it down or they move on to the next big thing and they shut down that feature or they deprecate that feature, they say, because it's like all about money now, right? It's everything that's about greed, about money. How much do we squeeze, extract out of people, right? From these corporations, how many tokens we charge people. That's the other thing these days, right? Oh, you are not happy where $20 a month in ChatGPT. Hey, we're not making much profit off of it. Now pay us for the tokens. that can be unlimited now, right? You run 5 ChatGPT windows, extra tokens, this and that. And can't blame them. They have to make a profit. They're going to go public soon and all that, right? But I'm just trying to tell you what's happening out there. These companies come, they launch something, they shut it down. If you rely your business on these, hey, it is what it is. And it used to be, you could say, hey, I'm paying a premium on a corporation because I know that they will not disappear 5 years down the line. While you, Paul, I don't know if you're going to exist 5 years from now or 2 years from now or whatever. So I don't want to come to your webinars like this or live streams like this and learn. I just don't want to do it, right? I'm trying to tell you it's the opposite now. I think it's funny where these big corporations are shutting down divisions, firing people like crazy and all that stuff, no matter what, how valuable that product was and how many people are using it. And the people like us, right? We are actually the ones who are the last man or woman standing, let's say. It's just kind of interesting, right? So I just want to tell you that's the reason why we are taking these updates and stuff very seriously. When we release it, it might take us a little bit longer, but we're not like throwing something out there and shutting it down because we want to make sure that it's a longer term commitment, right? As an example, and put it in perspective, Artistly has been updated for the last almost 4 years now, right? It's at 6th version update. It's going to have the 7th one after we release the Video Express V3. Video Express, as I said, 2 version updates. The 3rd one will be coming soon. So that's been being updated for almost 2.5 years now or so. So the point I'm making is in order to be up to speed, we have to also consider these integration concepts, right? So every time you create these new updates in music and CloneVoice, it'll also apply for talking photos, also apply for your lip sync videos, and also apply for Video Express videos and stuff. And that'll ensure that you're future proof, right? And you're not just doing one thing and then you have to cobble together 5 or different subscriptions and tools or tokens and credits and this and that, right? So when you go to that page, when you check out our applications, you will see one important thing, right? They're all one-time payment, and we do not, right? We do not charge for credits, right? We do not say, hey, extra credits, extra tokens, please pay more money. Yeah, we're greedy. Yeah, you paid already for the application. Too bad. Pay more for the tokens. Pay more for the credits. We are the last ones left. Nobody else is doing it this way. And in fact, I've seen so-called other people say it's a one-time payment, and then you come back, you're stuck with this tokens thing, where credits thing, where you can only create like 5 music files and you pay more money, or you can only generate 10 videos and you got to pay more, right? And that's the situation. So there's an enormous amount of pressure on us, not only to provide you the best value, best quality, but also to stick around long enough, right? Just not disappear all of a sudden. And so the point I'm making is like, understand that we're the last ones left being able to do this. And it is a really big challenge. The easy way out would be, hey, like, let's just charge you per credits. You go use whatever you want. It's not our problem. Or bring your own key. You pay OpenAI whatever money you want. Not my problem. That's the easy way, right? The hard way is to do it the way where we take in a way where, hey, we did give you one-time payment. You got a couple of years ago, 3 years ago. Doesn't matter. You're still getting the updates for free, not charged for the updates. But also the other thing is we'll grandfather you in, even if you raise prices later on and all that. You're still getting all the feature updates and stuff, which is a very, very hard challenge to do, right? Because there's a lot of components to keep in mind, integrations between applications, compatibility. All right, you see here, we put old option here and new, right? That's hard in itself because you got to maintain this old music thing because it has its own benefits, and some people wanted to clone some projects that they did in the old way of doing things. So we got to maintain that too, which is a big headache. If it was a big corporation, they'll just shelve this thing. They're like, old is dead. Take it or leave it, right? Well, we maintain it. It's a big, tough thing, but it is. We want you to be happy, right? Ultimately, that's the goal in this process. Okay. Now, I do see some questions. Let's answer these questions. Then I'll also talk about what the roadmap is coming up, and I also want to talk about where this future of AI stuff you're noticing, because we're doing so much R&D, research and development work and stuff like that. If you see in the Facebook group, I've been quiet a little bit over the last couple of months because so much time has been spent to ensure the new updates we're coming up is just extraordinarily good in terms of basically winning the game in the AI game, right? And I want you folks to understand that we are doing things very differently from people. And it's so significantly different that ours is 100 times harder than what other people are doing right now. Okay. What does that mean? I'll explain to you in just a sec right now. All right. So you can understand and you can play around with it and stuff like that, right? So this was the question. Cling tap motion control was the question. We already do that. So if you go into Talking Photos, okay, and the application talkingphotos.ai, you go into create video, you see this replicate motion here, this one. This is the cling motion control alternative, so to speak, you could say. And then you see here, we have speaking, we have dancing, so meaning replicating like a motion of somebody dancing a lot or somebody speaking, and you just pick it, and then you pick the high quality or whatever, fast, right? And you pick this or whatever, 9:16 and stuff, and then you can pick, you see, and then you can pick and change clothing, the character themselves. This is me turned into a 60-year-old person singing, right? And then you can go in and then you can pick a character, and then that will be the replicating of that motion or cling motion control. It's already done. And actually, the funny thing is, um, cling motion control, as an example, charges by the second. Okay, let me repeat that again. And hey, Canlin, they got to make money. So it's dollar per second is what's charged. And then Talking Photos, for example, doesn't charge you per second, doesn't charge you by video, doesn't charge you by credit. You can create as many videos as you want, right? And apply this. Now, the other thing is, like I was trying to tell you, the next update for this one will be here. You see here, we did 9:16, and then there's this little bit of border for this option. So we've been working with our beta testers to make it full-fledged, like all the way 16:9, and that'll make it even better than Kling at that point, because even Kling struggles with like 16:9 style videos. Okay. Basically, all right. So that's the idea. So we're playing around with our our beta tester right now. The feedback isn't pretty awesome. So we'll get to that next. So you'll see examples in our example videos. You'll see how those look like. Basically, the simple fact is like, I'll show you. So it's like this. You see, this is the motion control. So it turned this video. So this video of mine, like this, and to this older gentleman. So it changed the motion, right? So, and person itself, just from an image. I just uploaded the photo of this person, and it made me an older version or whatever, and maintains the lip sync. That's the motion control thing. And you can also do with dancing and all that kind of stuff as well. Okay. Hope that is clear, and answer your question there. Okay. And, okay, please ensure this one is there. Okay, so I just want to tell you a couple of things on this since we brought it up anyways. So it will be better than Grok Imagine, okay, Video Express V3. Because the main idea where we are aiming for, where we're going towards, is more like that seed dance VO3 style. What that does is you have people speaking in the video, people performing actions, right? And there's that background music. Like if you create a dinosaur video, there's background music of the dinosaur drinking the water and stuff. That Grok Imagine cannot do at this point that well, okay? Of course, Elon won't be happy I'm saying this, but hey, he has to take criticism as well, right? VO3 is way better than Imagine on that, VO 3.1, and even Seed Dance, by the way. We're trying to aim at that level. There are caveats there, obviously. We're not as big as a company as, let's say, ByteDance, which did Seed Dance, which is like behind TikTok. There are like thousands and thousands of people working on it, billions of dollars. Same thing with the case of VO3, which is done by Google. But why I'm confident, you will be amazed when we release it, and I've been testing it internally, is that use cases matter. Yeah. So what I mean by that is like, if you go into Video Express, and let's say we go into here, like create from prompt, right? Let's say here, you see here, we have the type, right? Human, 2D, 3D, photorealistic, and stuff like that. And there's specific styles of videos that you want to create. Let's say this could be a documentary style video, which has narration behind the scenes. Or this is, let's say, a cartoon children's story video I told you about, right? We created the music in CloneVoice and want to bring it together. So like there are these, let's say, 10 specific styles, let's say, of use cases that do well, let's say a YouTube video or a TikTok video or a YouTube short, specific stuff. Because we are marketers and like we drink our own Kool-Aid, right? Like last month, we've our YouTube videos were like, I think, what, 30 million views or something like that. And because of that, we know what works, what doesn't work, right? So the situation is, and this is why you have to understand, there's a big difference in the AI space. People who are in the trenches like us, and those who just, oh, seed dance is cool, folks, just use seed dance, but they don't understand where it does well, where it doesn't do well, right? Everything has advantages and disadvantages. So what we are finding out right now, because we know the stuff, is if you tell AI, hey, look, I am going to create this category here, like this, let's say, and this category, I'm going to sit on it, like my team and I, for 1 month. And all we do is like we fine tune the system and the way we prompt it, the way we create the styles, the length of the video, all these other stuff we set, right? And we do a lot of fine tuning and a lot of testing. Then we can make it as good as that model, which is, let's say, by $1 billion company or whatever, spent for that use case. What we cannot do, though, and I want to be transparent with you, where you just say, hey, you just type anything here in this box and it will create anything you desire and it'll be out of the box good. And that, even to be very honest with you, the best of the best stuff struggle in, right? The reason why is that they are trying to solve for a problem which can have so many edge cases, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that better comes with the caveat of what's the result. You understand? So what I mean is, like, if you say, like, okay, if I say something is better than something, I'm saying for a specific use case and for an outcome you're trying to do, it will be better because we've tested it. We spent our money, we got the results, we got the outcome. So we sat and we optimized it until our outcome was achieved with AI that we would have done manually before with a bunch of animators or video designers, or in this case, musicians or whatever, right? So to address this point, what I'm trying to say is where we are thriving and we're realizing it more and more. And we are working as well, for example, behind the scenes, a lot of people don't know it. We're working with NVIDIA's solution architects and engineers to ensure, like, we utilize their chips better, for example, right? To ensure we can generate more videos with the same chips, for example. Or we are also working on, like, behind the scenes stuff for optimization, work speed and quality and stuff. So then what happens is, like, if you do like for like comparison, it might feel like, wow, this thing can do 100 different things properly. Maybe, out of this 100, maybe 90 are actually bad and 10 are good. Or I'm saying is we will do those 10 better than them, because all we did is we sat on those 10 styles, 10 categories, 10 outcomes, let's say, or outputs, right? And we spent significant amount of time, like months, to fine tune it, to work on it, all the edge cases, different styles, lip sync style, let's say, talking style, walking style, cartoon, let's say, watercolor, you get the point, right? And we tested these. And then when you compare for those 10 to the 10 these other platforms can generate, it'll be on par, right? That is what we are working on. And I can tell you that if that is something you think is worth it, which I think you should, to be honest with you, it's much better, right? Time is more valuable than money. I always say it's better if those 10 things that AI can do properly, you only focus on those 10 than to have 100 things, right? And then you don't even know what those 10 are from that. Let us do that work for you. Let us spend that 6 months with dozens and dozens of people sitting behind the scenes, breaking their head for 12, 13 hours a day, in many cases, until they figure out what are those 10 that are doing well, right? And that's what we're finding out. That is why you will notice, actually, even in the AI space right now, the Chinese companies are beating, in many cases, the American companies, even though they might have lesser resources, they don't have the same level of money or whatever. Because of that, it's understanding, okay, where's the grunt work needed to be spent? We're not talking about AGI, which is like this thing where computers and AI is so smart that it can do everything, and then you find out that it can't even turn an alarm clock on because it doesn't understand the concept of an alarm clock, right? Basics cannot be that. So anyway, this is what is happening right now. Hope that is clear. And I can mention that this is the reason why it takes us so long to create updates, because we're working with limited resources. We want to give you the best value for the money you've given, but also we use this stuff in our own business, right? To run advertising, maintain a YouTube channel, publish it in different places and stuff like that. So then what we find out is, hey, everybody's hyping up about the seed dance thing or like this video thing or whatever. These YouTube videos of these so-called influencers and these people on Instagram and Facebook or Twitter or X, whatever. They get like, this is a game changer. It'll kill all the other stuff. And then when you use it, first of all, you got to pay a lot of money, credits and all that stuff. So you give up halfway. The other thing though is you realize, they said this, only those examples they showed me it's doing well. When I go beyond that, it's not doing well, right? What we call cherry picking of results, right? And then it doesn't work well when I try to do this. And then when you try to comment there, you don't have the reach of these influencers, so everybody forgets and moves on because millions of dollars are being spent on influencer marketing to kind of, make sure that that narrative is present. Okay. And I'm not afraid to say it because I have nothing to lose, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't have venture capital money or I have to please somebody or whatever. I don't really care. I'm going to just speak the truth. All right. And so what I'm trying to say is like, you have to understand, like, a person who's really, really deep into it will have a level of advantage right now in AI that basically a person who's just talking about it in a YouTube video just because it's cool to get a bunch of views has, right? What we like to call, like, the best way to explain it is like, somebody might know little bit of everything to talk about, but the person who knows really, really detailed information about that few things, you can't touch them, right? In terms of like competition, in terms of the quality, in terms of everything. Okay. I just want to be transparent with you and upfront and honest about it, because I will never claim, oh, we will go head to head against these big behemoth billion-dollar companies on 100 things they do, right? But on those 5 or 10 things or whatever it comes to where we put it in the application, yes, you comment saying, hey, that thing is better than us, we'll definitely improve it and make it better. And I will take that criticism very fairly because we've spent 6 months, let's say, to get it to that quality. Okay. Will that still be equivalent? It should be, as we keep getting feedback and we fine tune it. Theirs, you should understand, is it's all about results, right? It's all about outcomes. I mean, it should not be a cool thing you're just doing. It should be like, hey, it's great or not, right? Is it getting results or not? Is it getting views or traffic or leads or sales or something, right? Some outcome you're trying to do. So that's the reason why when we say Video Express V3 is coming, right? And I've been mentioning this, like, we've been working on V3 for the last 6 months, right? We were supposed to release it last month. Then Seed Dance releases, or VO 3.1, or the 3 releases, right? Now, if we release that update, the expectation is, well, this is like 2 months old stuff now or 3 months old stuff now, right? And so now you're like, okay, cool. Let's sit down now and let's see this thing that came in. What are those areas that it's shining? And what are the areas that's not shining? Okay, let's focus on that stuff and then we'll improve it and get it ready for release. And then based upon that, when you start using it, it's ready to go out of the box. You understand? And we're doing all the testing, tweaking, edge cases. Hey, when the person moves their head, suddenly the face is not consistent, right? Big complaint with Seed Dance right now is consistent character videos are very hard to make because they don't allow image import option for whatever reason, right? So you can't create a consistent character human style videos with you on, for example, because there's some restrictions there, for example. Will influencers talk about that? No, right? It's much more cooler to say it's game over. AI will take away all the jobs. AI will do all this stuff, much more hypey stuff. But when you go in the trenches, you realize, man, a lot of stuff, it doesn't do that well. And those who have that detailed attention are ones who will have the edge. And that's what we want to impart upon you. And that's why it takes us a little bit longer sometimes, because not only are we creating a feature, you have to teach you how to get the best outcome. And when you when you create you see this feature right here, automatically enhance my image prompt. This alone we'll be spending 2 months on, because when you write an image prompt, it also matters how the quality of the video will come, right? So what are all the complications that can arise there when you're putting it, right? And how do we improve it? And we're doing all this testing to make sure that it works out of the box. Will it be perfect for day one? We hope so, but sometimes, it's always constant understanding. Different people use it for different cases, okay? So I want to mention that because, even the same logic, when we come back to create audio, remember I was telling you the next update for Clone Voice, right now, I think it's about 30 plus or 50 plus languages. You're saying it's going to be 400 plus languages, right? So 400 plus languages we're adding, where you can now clone your voice in that language, 400 languages. That's crazy, right? Now, am I going to say that, hey, we tested all 400 properly? We've tested probably 150, right? The most popular: European, African, South American, Asian languages, right? But we don't know every single area. So when somebody mentions to us, hey, this one obscure language, something is off, then what we can do now is, okay, interesting. When we tested it, we kind of tested it generically. We didn't go deep into how it pronounces certain vowels or certain accents. Okay, now let's go improve that thing. And we start doing that, and it'll be perfect then, right? So, for example, this foreign language, now you're thinking about, okay, now what happens in Video Express once people start creating videos across 400 languages next, right? When we release that update, what happens to lip sync, let's say, or what happens to narration style, or what happens to prompt adherence, like is it listening to your prompts? So all these tests have to be done now for those applications as well, right? So that we can get the outcome done. So really a lot of mad scientist stuff if you think about it. But ultimately, though, that also gives us an edge over these big companies, and then that will allow us also to, get you the best value. And also, for a fact that if there was a feature put in, we've done our very best work in terms of doing everything we could get to ensure that quality is as good as possible. And if it's maybe 99% there, we're always going to keep improving to get it to that 100% because we're not satisfied, right? If you remember, when I did the live stream in the past, if you remember, I told you when that sing in your own voice feature, right? I said, I'm not happy when I did the live stream about a month ago or a month and a half ago, right? And then we've updated it. Okay. And it made it multilingual. When I just said it was only English when I did it. It's really good now. We still name it beta because I'm 99% satisfied with it, not 100%. So what we're doing is basically, working on some other updates and stuff like that across languages, also across different instrumentals and stuff like that to be fully satisfied. So I'm being transparent on that too, because hey, you can't expect to be, good in every aspect, but those few things, right? And the sing in your own voice feature, by the way, also I wanted to mention, will work really well if you think about it. And I mentioned this in the previous tutorial where you're creating videos of yourself, right? Singing for your own stuff, like what you see here. So if I zoom out here, let's say stuff like this, right? Like this stuff is you singing, let's say, right? Or like this, where you're playing the instrument or whatever, right? Like so. See? So your voice is important here. You can't just put like somebody else's voice and it's your face, for example. Looks stupid, right? Doesn't make any sense. So that's the other consideration here. How do we link that to the other application and stuff, So anyway, yeah, that's the basic idea, okay? So now I do see some, yeah, I see like, I remember, right? So yeah, New Orleans accent would be cool. Interesting. Okay, thank you. I'll make a note of that. So that's your Southern accent, right? The way I would suggest that for these kind of things, we're going to improve our voice design feature. Okay, so you see here when we have voice maker, and that's part of that update too. It's going to come with that 400 voices. You can test it. Go to voice maker. You see how you said generate human sounding professional voice. So if I say here, like New Orleans English, right? Accent. So you can say New Orleans English accent, right? Then we can say Southern, right? Because it's a Southern English accent. And then you can generate the voice in clone voice, like so, like male or female. And then I just generated. So this is what we're going to update it. I don't know if this one is good. I'm just testing. Maybe if it's not good, I'll tell you too. You tell me. Okay, let's play this. Actually, I'm curious now that we brought it up, and let's see how this thing looks like once it's ready. That is. So let me actually unmute the audio. Let's see. Yeah, it's done. So let's play it. If it sucks, it sucks. Hey, we gotta update it anyway. We're working on that update anyway. So let's see.
The old library smelled of leather-bound books and polished wood, creating an atmosphere of wisdom and knowledge that had accumulated over centuries.
I'd say it's almost there, but not like fully Southern, is it? Yeah, it's kind of slower twang, I guess. So yeah, the new update will run this comparison and see with that 400 voices when we add it next, how it'll appear. Okay. But for now, yeah, this is how I would do it. If you want that accent, you try this here first before you say it's good or bad, because the where we have that voice maker, this professional voice maker is where the accents in English and Australian accent or British accent or whatever can be used to create. Okay. Basically. All right. And if it is like a different language, so this one right here, like Cantonese and stuff outside of English, I would highly suggest clone it, right? Just get a voice with that accent specifically. Go to dashboard, you go to clone voice, and then you would probably want to clone that in. Okay, upload that file here, pick the language, and you should be able to put that Chinese here, and it will detect whether it's Mandarin or Cantonese, right? Cantonese being the Hong Kong one, Mandarin being the Chinese mainland, right? So yeah. Now, the other thing as well is that I kind of wanted to mention is basically where I see you do see some questions coming in and stuff like that on this topic is the integration side of things. So if you see that link here, all our products there in the bottom, you'll notice that like all of them are integrated together and we're working a lot more. So like your voice is up here to create lip sync videos or music videos, or one was actually replicate motion where you can change yourself into another person, character, whatever, right? Which are really viral right now, stuff like that. So one of those components that is being worked on behind the scenes is to also simplify the end result side of things. Okay. So that means, in other words, is see right now, I have to tell you, okay, you generate the music, then you go and then you go to talking photos and you create the music video, right? So in other words, if you do it visually, you go into my audios, there's this epic battle music, whatever. But let's say there's this children's rhyme song or whatever, and then you wanna create like a lip sync song. Now you generate the music file and then you link the API key, and then you go back into talking photos and you just upload the song or you connect that to the account and then you generate it, right? So what we're working on now is kind of to streamline this process a little bit more, to speed up the workflow a little bit more. Once the major updates are all finished, like meaning we're satisfied where like the music is the best 100%, it's 99% there, let's say voice cloning and the languages, now we have whatever 40, 50 languages, it's going to be 400 and people are happy with that and updates we made to that. Then now we're going to work on that more integration based stuff. So if you're a customer of Artistly, let's say, and you don't have any of our other products, just go to that page. You can go to this page and you'll see all our products here, right? You just go get them. So CloneVoiceAI or Artistly and these other things. And, let's say, for example, you want to buy multiple applications from us or something, let our support team know, right? We'll be happy to assist you with like custom invoices and stuff, because a lot of the times what happens with us is like a lot of the folks come in and say, I want to buy 3 licenses because I have team members in my team and I want to do so. Or, hey, I have a virtual worker who wants to use this as well. Can I buy a license for that? Or alternatively, as well as like, hey, just give me one place. I just want to go here and buy. I don't want to go here and buy, whatever. So at any point, you can email any of our support team members and say, hey, I want to purchase all the applications you have here. Send me an invoice, whatever, and give me the access at once, because I don't want to do the process. We'll be happy to assist you, okay? And we're happy to work with you on that to help you out there, of course. But the point I'm making is, if you see carefully, Artistly is the best image designer tool, right? And we've done all the workflows on that. And the next big update for Artistly will be our chat interface. So we're going to be changing Artistly into more like a Gemini, Nano Banana type of a system, or a ChatGPT image system where you can chat with Artistly and generate edit images and stuff. That's the big update for V7 we're working on. It's going to come after Video Express V3. But the idea is that now you can generate the images. Okay, cool. I can do anything to do with images like storybooks or puzzles and this and that. Now, the next thing now is, let's say I want to add music to that. CloneVoice will do the best music, best voice cloning and all that, because all the effort is being put in there. There's an exclusive team working on it day in and day out, right? Same thing with Artistly. Now, okay, I want to create videos now with that. Video Express is best for that. Now you turn the image into videos. You can turn that music file into music videos, specifically in different styles, like person performing actions and stuff. If lip sync is the only thing you're focused on, talking photos, right? You get the point, and so on and so forth. So that is the basic idea of how we are doing the integration stuff. And if you buy one, of course, the other one will be updated and the other one will improve. If CloneVoice improves, Video Express improves. Video Express improves, CloneVoice improves, right? If the quality of your videos is higher, then the voices that you're generating, the music you're generating will also help make your music and your audios do better, right? Because the end result is going to be visual in nature at the end of the day, right? So basically, that's the idea here. All right. Now, the other thing we're working on right now, which I kind of wanted to mention, because hey, I would treat this as a brand new year, brand new start, because we're kind of excited about some cool things we're doing behind the scenes. Is that one of the other things that is really, really powerful that we are noticing quite a bit right now is seeing the problem all the way through. Okay. So what we are going to be starting to do going forward, and we're super excited about that, is let's say we had that question come in, right? Hey, Cantonese, right? If I go here, you will see we have just Chinese voice cloning, and then we have, well, sorry, we did have Cantonese here. Yeah, I forgot. Anyway, Cantonese, right? We did this. So now, let's say you're trying to clone your voice in Cantonese, and some words or some letters, sometimes it messes it up and it does it in Mandarin accent or something, right? Now, cases like this, right? Or Spanish, right? When we say Spanish here, you'll see what I'm talking about. This Catalan Spanish. And then there's the other one, which is this. And let's say Argentinian Spanish is different from Peruvian Spanish, is different from Bolivian Spanish, is different from Spain Spanish. We get the point, right? Accents are different. And so what we are working on is more on a one-on-one basis with our team. And we've been, we started it recently, but we're going to go more in depth on that. Is like, we're going to work with you. We're going to chat with you, whether in WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, wherever. And then we're going to work on it until that issue is resolved. Because now we have a system in place where, as long as we know where the bottleneck is or the issue is specifically on that specific case, then we know exactly how to fix it, because we built a system in place internally for ourselves where we notice something or we get feedback. We are basically fixing it. AI does 80% of the work here, which is awesome because it's getting better at this stuff. So 20% is what we require. Before, we used to do 80% in AI, would do 20% of this stuff. So when we work with you and we say, give us like, where is it failing? We have a system now where we can say, AI, hey, like, all this information about our application of like fix this issue. It'll give us guidance, and now only we have to spend 20% of our time now to say, oh, okay, cool. Now let's see, where is this thing breaking? Is it good 80% of the time or 100% of the time? Stuff like that, right? Which is awesome. It's good for you because the space of updates we're going to make is going to be really, really fast going forward because of this, and actually solve problems. One of the biggest issues I am facing personally, and I'm sure you let me know in the chat if you feel the same, is you have a bug, it's frustrating, it's a bug, you message your companies, whatever you want to name them, your 11 Labs or like your Googles or your OpenAIs and all these folks. And sometimes you get a recorded response or you're not top priority, right? Of course, because they have enterprise clients, they have, they're focused on so many different areas. That makes sense. The issue though, it'll never get solved, or you hope and pray it will. So that will also set us apart, I believe, going forward. It's because of this fact where what we are noticing is AI is not 100% accurate, and it's by default. Okay, it's a fact. People will tell you 100 different things, don't even believe them. What happens is like hallucination is native to AI, right? The same thing is like the transformer model, right? Which is what powers all these AI tools, and what's called a diffusion model for images, music, and stuff, is by nature, right? It's going to hallucinate, meaning you generate one lyric, every time it's going to generate a different type of song. It could be the exact same lyric. You just press submit, it'll submit and create a different type of song. You cannot say, I just want the exact same thing you did last time. It cannot. It doesn't understand. So if that is the case, don't you agree with me? A lot of effort needs to be put in to ensure that if somebody's creating, let's say, a music video like this, right? Let's just be practical here. Like you want to create a music video like this, like we come back here like this, right? Like this. Now, if I want to reuse this again and again, you see there's a clone feature, reuse. That alone is so hard for a lot of companies these days. It's like, how do I reuse it? How do I create the same character, same lip sync? How do I create the exact same genre of music, just exact same style of music, right? And that's becoming a problem these days. And ironically, this is the reason why when it comes down to that last step where you want to actually do something professionally, right? a lot of the times you have to merge multiple tools together, right? Like you got to edit that audio, you got to edit that video manually a little bit, or you have to go in and you got to cobble together multiple tools where one will do one thing properly, another will do another thing properly, and you got to cobble together, pay a lot of tokens, monthly subscriptions, and all that for like one solution, right? Which is such a simple thing. If somebody sat with you for like a couple of hours and effectively understood the problem, noted it down, created an action plan on how to solve it, and then actually solved it permanently. Not only you benefit from it, we benefit from it, other people might have the exact same issue, they will benefit from it. And that is much more different than a roadmap, right? People always talk about roadmaps. We stop focusing on roadmaps completely because it's a stupid proposition. We know we'll update, we know exactly what we need to create. Now, the question now is, how does it solve the issue, right? Some things can be solved in 2 hours, some things can be solved in 2 months. The 2 hours one should always be top priority, right? And solve the edge cases and stuff like that. And that's why we do these live streams as well, is so you to understand, right? Like this is the exact problem, right? This is the VO3 prompt adherence issue. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to become a prompt expert or something. What is the issue is that it tries to be everything for everybody. That's the problem. It's not that the engineers are not smart, not that it's an amazing platform, which I will give props for, right? Google did a great job with it. But the main issue is that, they try to make it like, hey, 100 million people are going to use it. Therefore, let's try to generalize everything. And then somebody comes with like a specific issue, like I want to create like an ad or like a video ad or a commercial, or I want to create like a viral YouTube video or a Instagram video or something. And then now it starts falling apart because now you have to think, okay, it generates 10 seconds clips. Okay, now what do I do to get a 60-second clip? Okay, I got to come up with ideas to cobble together multiple things. You start thinking, right? And then you start creating it. Then it opens up a different set of can of worms now, because you're trying to solve for a problem that you have no control over, right? Sometimes in many cases, you break your head. And then now you say, okay, fine, I'm going to wait for something better, or I just give up. Right. And it's common, and nothing wrong with it. Like, I don't want to bash anybody. It's just, the thing is like priorities, right? And you have to accept that. And I've accepted that too in many ways, where I've realized these big corporations, they can shut down any platform, any API or any feature at any point in time. And therefore, even for our business, right, we have to be careful. What are we using behind the scenes for you? So for example, what we do as an example, since that takes us much longer, right, is, for instance, like, for example, like if you go into create music right now and you have this enhance with AI thing, right, where you give it an idea and it enhances, we have multiple backups here. Like if one goes, one system or whatever goes, we have another one as a backup, another one, right? And just to be safe. And that takes extra effort, but might as well be future proof. You never know what gets removed, what gets added, right? Constantly things keep changing effectively. All right. So that's the other thing. So in a nutshell, you will start seeing us going forward, where if you have a bug report, don't be hesitant. Just let our support team know. And you can even tag saying, hey, have Paul look at it, right? I'll personally look at it for you. And you just like, you'll see this, right? Like our support email. You can just email and let us know 2 things. Every audio you generate with Clone Voice comes with this ID, right? This unique ID, all right? So this is your generation ID for everything. This gives us information on all the steps you've done to get that outcome effectively, okay? And so what happens if something breaks, or let's say you said a male singer and it was a female voice as an example, right? Then we know, okay, what went wrong? And using the power of AI and also some systems we built behind the scenes, we can personally work with you, ensure that it's permanently fixed, not just for you, but everybody, right? In that kind of a scenario. Simple stuff, it appears, but making sure that happens. So going forward, that will be our focus. And you don't have to come to a live stream like this and say, hey, I sent a ticket and I got like a boring response or whatever, which doesn't solve my problem. I understand, okay? And that's the case with every company these days, right? You send a request, they're like, is it like a feature or a bug? Then it goes to division where they're like, no, it's not a bug, it's a feature. The person responsible will just say, it's not my problem. They'll forward it to somebody else, and it just lingers there, right? They just don't want you to keep emailing again. They hope and pray you forget. What we are trying to do is, like, now that we have this system, and it's been there for a while, but it's better now, you just let them, like, this is my ID, right? I have been trying, it's not working, something went wrong. We will ensure we'll work with you. And in many cases, if we didn't solve that right away, we'll come back to you 5 days, 6 days, 7 days later and say, hey, this is an update for you. We fixed this issue. Now you can go ahead. And because that conversation is happening with me almost every day, pretty much, where the team is asking me, hey, this issue is lingering. Did we put resources behind it and fix it? And oftentimes we used to say no before. Now we're saying yes, because 80% is being done by AI and all this stuff. Why not we give you the benefit in that case? And that's kind of thanks to NVIDIA folks as well. Like I told you, where they've helped us out a lot, the engineers over at NVIDIA, where they've allowed us to create some optimizations on their chips to be able to do some of these things at a very high level, where we don't have to beg and plead these OpenAIs and these Anthropics and these companies to do some stuff for us, which is they don't listen to us, just like they won't listen to you, right? So we just said, okay, fine. We'll just go, on the chip level itself, we'll do some optimizations and stuff. And we got better at it over the last few months, which we're very proud of, in my opinion, which I really am, because it's a lot of hard work for hardware side. Last thing I'm going to tell you folks on this, and I'm seeing some questions on this as well, is basically where is AI headed? Okay. So I want to kind of frame this argument also in terms of why we're the only people doing what we are doing, and there'll be nobody left. And the scenario becomes where at that point we'll start raising our prices, or we're going to do something. You're going to be grandfathered in. So what's happening right now is I'm not sure if you're paying attention to the space, but in the last 3 months, okay, what happened is that we've been getting emails, okay? The emails we've been getting, and I'll tell you this, and it's kind of sad actually. One sec, I'll pull this up for you. I'll pull this up as an example, is the pricing, right? The prices of these servers, these GPU servers that we've been renting from Amazon, Google, some of these other companies like CoreWeave and Lambda Labs and all these other places in the last specifically couple of months, last 2 months, because what's happening is Anthropic and OpenAI want to do an IPO, so they've been buying up all the GPUs to get the advantage, because they realize that the actual moat or advantage they're going to have is amassing all the compute, we say, right, out there. So you'll see this. I'll show you. One sec. Pull this up for you so you can understand what is the situation right now. Yeah. So you see this here. Yeah, see this right here? This is what's happening, okay? As of February 18th, you'll see this. Hopefully you can see it, yeah, on your screen. So as of February 18th, if I put, this one. So they've increased 15 to 20% the prices of these Blackwell GPUs is what we use. So 529 to 608, and it's only going to get worse, all right? What's happening is, if I open up our cloud platform where we rent these GPUs in the past, right? We're being asked to now commit to 3 years at a time and stuff. Not us, everybody, by the way, because Anthropic, OpenAI are just getting everything out there. So check this out. This is what the situation is now. Before, right? People will be like, well, this 8X B200, it's like $53 an hour. So therefore, it's like I'm only going to use it for 1 day, right? As I need it for some quick training session or fine-tuning session I'm going to do. It's all sold out. Everything. B200 sold out. B200, this one. H100 sold out. H100 is a 4-year-old technology, by the way, right? All the stuff sold out, sold out, sold out, you see? And this is one of the smaller companies compared to like Amazon and stuff, sold out there as well. So what's happening right now, only this one is available right now, as you can see. And this one is like ARM processors. So it's not like Linux and stuff and your, AMD. So it's a little bit different to set up these things. And it's more expensive too. It's $2.29 too now compared to before. So the industry's #1 analyst, okay, on this stuff. I don't want to, drag on this thing, but you have to understand, all right? Because you'll understand, you'll start seeing this across all companies you use, whether you use 11 Labs or you use other platforms out there, CDANS, VO3, whatever. You see this, the great GPU shortage, rental capacity, okay? So what's happening right now, and this is the analyst who does like, for like, institutional investors and all these people who are like paying attention. So watch this, what's happening here. last year, when we were having this discussion, when we released Clone Voice, right? We released it last year as an example around this period of time, somewhere like here, I guess. Anyway, in September. So your GPU pricing trajectory was like this, right? Meaning, what was 4-year-old servers were going down in value with time. Now, since January, you see this? This is January 2026 here. You see the trajectory going up. Like you see this? It's like this is the actual chart if you see here, right? This was started off here, and from January 2026 started going up. Now, this is crazy because this is going to mean that every company, okay, every single company, whether they're having a subscription plan, they claim unlimited plan, where it's going to be, say, $200 a month, $97 a month, whatever, a monthly fee. I'm not even talking about one-time payment, any of that stuff. We'll also start charging tokens. And if they haven't already, you will start seeing it, okay? The reason why this is going to occur, and if they say unlimited, it means like it'll be like this, where you want to generate music. Oh, okay. It's going to take you 30 minutes to generate one music file. And then you have to wait until that, meaning no parallel generations, which we don't do for CloneVoice. You can generate as many parallelly, right? As you probably already know. Like 30 minutes to wait. You're going to wait. You're going to sit on your screen and wait until that one music file is finished, or one video is finished, or let's say that one image, right, is generated. It takes 15 minutes. You're just sitting and staring at your screen until it's done, because they won't allow you to do more because of the shortage. Okay. And it's only going to get worse. You see that chart? It's only going up. And the idea is that it's going to go up another 20% because it's all sold out. So whoever wants to get supply and demand, they're going to pay more money. And we are having to be forced to do so. But lucky for us and lucky for you, we saw through this a couple of years ago. And when this pricing was occurring, like sometime around last year, about around this period of time, somewhere there, we committed to 3-year commitments at this price. You see it around somewhere around this price. Not fully here, I guess, but whatever, right? So what happens is, like, even if the prices increase, we are logged in at that older price because we committed to it longer term and all that, in many cases. So this is how we had some foresight, at least, to think, right? Now, that is why I'm saying, like, you will start noticing it going forward. These are facts, okay? I'm telling you as somebody who was in the industry, who was spending millions of dollars at this stuff, and, spending millions of dollars in salaries and in training and fine-tuning and all this stuff, not just now, but for the last 4 years now. We've done it lip sync and text to speech before ChatGPT released in 2022, late 2022, right? November. So I'm telling you, this chart is for the H100, which is like a 4. You see this? H100 was released somewhere around 2021. Okay. So don't believe when they say, oh, these old GPUs are going to get cheaper, so token costs are going to get cheaper. So, your company, which is selling it for $50 a month or $100 a month, will only make more profit with time. So therefore, the better stuff is going to be given to you for that price. No, they're going to say the best stuff, pay more tokens. We still want the monthly stuff you're paying us, and it's only going to get worse, right? And that is the reason why I'm trying to tell you is that when we say, okay, we're spending that extra 2 months or extra 3 months for updating a Video Express V3, when you're spending that extra 2 or 3 months to make sure that when we release it, we're not rushing things and getting out there, we're seeing it more like a 3-year, 4-year timeline things here, because things are getting pretty bad and a lot of greed out there, okay? And the greed meaning what's happening is they want to kill companies like us. You understand? So what happens here is once this number goes up to somewhere like here, right? It's going to be more like to what it was 4 years ago. You see the graph here, right? I just want to draw it so you understand. Once it gets to this point here, right? This level I'm highlighting right now, it's going to be effectively where no company, right, can have a staff member, like a team, engineering team. They can have a support team. They're going to automate everything with AI. They're not going to have like people who are like human beings, right? Who can actually see a live stream like this and answer your questions. There's going to be none of that left. Everything will be AI behind like a paywall. You send a support ticket. It'll be like an AI response because they're spending almost all their money on these servers. Everything. Okay, 80% of their revenue will be going to this. And right now they're surviving because they're getting some venture capital funding and all that. That's going to stop eventually in the next, whenever, right? By the end of the year or next year or whatever. So the situation I'm trying to tell you is, just as a person just being this, your electricity bills are going up because of this AI stuff, right? Your let's be clear here, when they're going to build a data center with AI, right, it means lesser housing in that land because you can't build a house close to the data centers, for example. You're seeing where for instance, jobs are going away because all this money is being spent on the stuff. Like if you notice carefully, like if you look at it, and this is the reason why I'm so passionate about what I teach here for you folks, is Oracle yesterday, last week, like Oracle fired 30,000 people. Like just send an email in the morning, right? Like look at the stuff, right? And you see this Oracle's massive 30,000 people layoff as AI spending surges. This is what Oracle is doing. What they're doing is they're funneling all their money and overpaying on this, right? Like their Oracle will go and say, oh, the price is going up like this. I'm just going to commit to this price right now and just lock it in. Like meaning I'll pay $3.60 or something, whatever it comes to, and I'll lock it in because, the money is there, right? I don't care about employees or whatever happens. And so what's happening is the human touch is going away. Okay. Meaning somebody will care about what you have to say. Somebody will listen to your complaints like me, right? And say, okay, fine, we'll improve it. Sorry, whatever. And that's going away. And it's only going to get worse and worse. They're going to start firing people who would have cared about you, would have actually seen your issue you said last month and whatever. And they'll say, okay, I'll get back to you. I'll push people to fix that bug you're facing or whatever, right? Or that issue you're facing. That is going away slowly. Okay. And so what's going to happen? Well, what's going to happen is these 3 or 4 or 5 companies are going to amass all this stuff because they can afford it. They're monopolies in their space, and they're going to crush guys like us in the process because we'll have to go to them because we can't get them. Lucky for us, we got a 3-year commitment, but not the case for a lot of other companies, right? So what I'm trying to say is like, these are the facts, okay? So when people complain to us, we hear you. I know Video Express V3 we're working on, we're going to build it, but understand that we have to do all this other background stuff than developing stuff now. We got to go contact these people and convince them, hey, can we do a 2-year commitment so we can lock in that capacity so you don't get screwed over like 6 months later, right? That half of my time last year was spent on that, okay? Half. Because they're like, okay, now you prepay us this much amount and then you do this, you do that. There's all these discussions, right? And lo and behold, in the same time period, RAM prices went up. You must have heard about it, right? Computer hardware stuff, cooling stuff, electricity. Like one of the data centers we work with, they increased our electricity cost by 15%, just because they're like, hey, we're passing on the electricity bills to you. You take it or leave it. Because if you can't pay, Meta will pay, Microsoft will pay, Google will pay. So take it or leave it. And we are doing our best not to pass on those expenses to you, right? But it's hard. Right. And so that's why I was trying to tell you is this is what we're doing is hard work. It's not easy stuff, but it will pay off because the point I'm making is when there's only 5 companies left, right? Your big companies who have all this money, all the other people will be eliminated or rely on them, right? Meaning they're using their tokens, their APIs and stuff and passing it on to you. What money is made by them? That will mean effectively, okay, we'll be the only alternative left where we're still hustling and making sure we can provide it to you for the best possible value, right? And it's only going to get worse, right? So like if you see here, like in this article, it says, I'm just going to summarize. I don't want to read the whole thing, obviously, for you. Increase, right? Like look at this. DDR5 RAM is increasing by 5x, meaning 500%, okay? Year over year, meaning from last year to this year, RAM is used in your cars. RAM is used in basically your smart refrigerators, in your smartphones, right? In your phones, your iPhones and mobile phones. That has gone up by 5x, okay? 500%. So it's like this thing is eating up a lot of industries and a lot of people will pay the price, okay? In terms of the price in gas prices, in terms of the price, in terms of electricity prices, in terms of the price in your mobile phone prices, all this stuff, right? And like here's the other thing, right? So what they're expecting is, you see this, right? As supplies tighten and prices rise, the move to secure more hardware ahead of time, this is what Oracle was doing. They fired 30,000 people, rechanneled that money they saved a few billions on, committing to this stuff, which will only tightens the supply more and pushes the prices higher. Okay, still. And they're expecting another 20% increase forced increase on us and everybody else in the next couple of months and on and on. So the situation is, folks, right? We all know, and I don't want to be negative about it. AI is good. There's some good things. You can be productive and all that kind of stuff. It's just that it's becoming a monopoly. Okay. And we have to face those facts. And when it becomes a monopoly, your so-called, your startups or these companies which are being venture backed and they're kind of subsidizing it by saying unlimited plan with free trial, they'll disappear by the end of this year because they can't handle it because they rely on your OpenAIs and your Geminis and your, these Chinese companies like Seedance and stuff, and they pass on to you at a margin. Let's say they charge you $2 per video. These people will charge you $2.25, right? 10% on top of the spread. Those companies will start disappearing because that $2 is going to become $4. They can't double the price on customers, right? They can't. Right now they're trying to, but they'll pay the price eventually when people just will revolt, just like how people are revolting on the gas prices now, and then food prices increases and all this stuff, right? And it'll happen. So we are in that precarious situation is what I'm saying. And the stuff we are doing is very hard work where time, instead of focusing on making a great product and stuff, you got to waste your time on all this stuff where like now you have to beg these people. See, everything is sold out, right? So now you got to email them what is available. They'll say, give us 3-year commitment. So because then we'll tell a person who's paying month to month to either pay 3 years or give it to us, right? By the time we do it, somebody else will come, like an OpenAI, Anthropic, or one of these big companies, and they take up all the capacity, and there's nothing left for us, even if we are willing to pay more money. Then what happens? People like us, right? I've been doing this stuff for 15 years, so I'm willing to dip into my savings and make sure some things can be implemented because I'm thinking longer term. A lot of people will be like, hey, too bad, I'll shut down the platform. Take it or leave it, right? And that's what's going to be happening in the next few months for sure. It's just a time period. Are you going to be charged more than you pay it or not, effectively, okay? So anyway, I just wanted to kind of put some context behind things, why, it takes us a little bit longer to update certain features because we're battling this stuff behind the scenes, which we don't like doing. Second thing is like, we're focusing on basically making certain specific features as good as possible by taking your feedback. And we're not focusing on, hey, we're going to compete against these big companies on like 100 different things they do. We'll only focus on those 3 or 4 things we'll do really well. And we can definitely say we'll do a better job than them because we're so focused on making it as good as possible, right? Effectively. So hope that is clear. Okay. And that will allow us to make it better and better. Okay. I did see this message, by the way. My team sent it over to me about this AI dubbing feature here. So this is basically my point of where one of the ways we're going to solve this is through our new update we're going to make through like talking photos, and also with the Video Express coming up, where the main issue seems to be the lip sync. Okay, so the pace of the audio when you upload. So what we did is like we got it to work with English to other languages, but other language to English, not the best right now. So you will see it. I hear you. I see this. Not happy about this one myself. So I'll get this done for you as a top priority. Okay. We do have it for English to other languages, but like if you bring like a Hindi speaking person and translate it to English, we're finding lip sync issues because the pacing of the language is different, right? So hope that makes sense. All right. So anyway, so just a couple of things real quick. I do keep getting people asking this question. I try my best to answer as much as possible, but sometimes what happens is I don't get a time to have a conversation, right? Because when we post in our Facebook group, then we see people just seeing one comment and then saying, hey, we're waiting for some of these updates, what's happening and stuff. And I just cannot explain it that well in like a post, right? So the better way to tell you is what's happening right now and what sets us apart and what will continue setting us apart with our community and folks like you. And what you'll start seeing is there'll be no one left doing what we are trying to do. And more importantly, even the bigger companies will start going for the higher profit stuff, and they'll start ignoring people who made them big, which is unfortunately the case, right? And that's always the case. So then what's going to happen is they're going to say, pay us more money. Your ChatGPT $20 a month account will have all these limitations. Pay us $200 a month to get all these other stuff. You can't pay that money. Too bad. Not our problem. Unfortunately, this is the way it is, right? Same thing with other platforms as well. It's going to be the case, and it's already the case, but it's going to get worse. That's the sad part. It's going to get worse. The good news of this whole thing is we've seen this happen before and we've been prepared about this. So we're at least a little bit positioned better than everybody else out there. And we know our limitations as well. We're upfront about it, right? And we know where we are good, where we cannot be good. And therefore, based on that, we are playing the game in such a way where we can still provide you the value. We can still do the stuff that's great as possible. And more importantly, we don't make excuses, right? When we have a feature that's not working as good, we can still solve it. We still have the resources to be able to do so. And when we announce a feature, it will be updated for long term, not something we dump halfway because our priorities changed or something, right? Or it's not as profitable for us or something, which is the other thing right now. Okay, so I just want to be for you folks to be prepared for this. Okay, and if you have family, friends, and stuff who might be would love this information, do share it with them. I don't care if you share the video or you just explain it to them, but do please tell them that, hey, if you're thinking to join in this and learn AI to be more productive and just try to start using all these workflows and these use cases and stuff, better start doing it today than 6 months from now. Because if you think stuff is expensive today, it's only going to get more expensive in the future. And those people who start late will have to have a lot of cash on hand to experiment stuff. Right. And it's better in that sense, like I told you, if you have to experiment stuff, just put it in perspective. As we discuss this discussion, we come back here or we go to I'll give you a perfect example, right? The question that came in was, hey, do you have a playing motion control kind of feature? And this is replicate motion in talking photos, right? Motion control is very expensive. Playing motion control, anybody who does it will know. The point is, we've added it into the Express and into talking photos here. And it's really, really good. And what we've done is we've improved it over time and we've given you multiple choices and stuff like that here. What happens, and this is what I was trying to tell you. So you see how we did dancing separately here? And we did speaking separately here. We did high quality, low quality and stuff. Like this is option 1 and this is option 3, correct? So why we're doing this is because we need special fine tuning and optimization stuff to make sure that it does well with dancing. And those tricks will not apply for speaking, right? So when we just put them all into one, you'll try it and you'll give up because it won't work properly. And so what's happening is this kind of stuff is becoming more and more and more important. And we're going in this direction, right? Which I think is the right way. It's obvious. But a lot of these bigger organizations like AGI, the AI will understand everything. You just tell it, I want to like this video, I want this, and it will do everything for me. Those companies, when you actually go in and you try, it's not working. And you'll see, because it won't, you have to give it a prompt that's 5 pages long, and it'll forget after that for 1 page. First page, what is happening, the second, third, fourth page, right? Because and you have to know what to write, and it's too complicated because how do you write something that is more of a creative feature in nature? And how do you write it where, you got to think about it every single time? And, the other irony is you write it generates one video once correctly, or whatever, second time around it won't generate because it just forgot everything, right? Memory is gone effectively, okay? So anyway, so this is the reality of the situation, okay? Be prepared to be ready with any other so-called competitors of ours who might be saying today they have a free account, or we can do a bunch of this stuff, or let's say they might say, hey, you have unlimited for recurring subscriptions, and then you'll start seeing they'll start hiding new features behind a paywall. They'll start adding more tokens and credits and stuff. New features, they'll say get a bigger plan. They'll do all kinds of tricks because there's no money at all unless you plan out all this stuff ahead of time like we've been doing. And we kind of got lucky too, to be honest. Okay, just the timing was great. Who would have known things would go bad like this since January, where things went up 20% and in just 2 months. Generally they go up like over a year, right? Like you could have assumed. And that's the reason why you're seeing all these layoffs and stuff, right? Oracle and these Meta and all these big companies. It's the same reason. They're removing people, taking all the money and putting it in this 30-40% increased expenses in data centers and stuff. And a data center, let's be honest, okay, has 50 people working in it maximum. So you fire 20, 30,000 people and you replace it with a 50 people, well, construction and all that will create some jobs. But once the data center is built, only 50 people work in there. How is that helping society, right? So, well, that's the reason why I say our best thing we can do for you is this is heading to that direction anyways, right? So then the question is, are you going to be prepared for it, or are you going to complain, or just, put your head underneath the sand and just say, I don't care. Like, better be prepared, right? So the situation now is you want to be adept. You got to be knowing how to know what to do with AI properly. Let people like us break our heads, testing things hundreds of times to figure out, hey, ChatGPT released this thing, Gemini released this thing, like, let's say ByteDance or like the Chinese companies did this thing. Which one is doing the best in which way, which one is struggling in which way, and what are the best ways we can provide it to our customers so that they can get those 5 or 10 different things properly, perfectly, and how can we improve on those and fix all the edge cases and those weird scenarios that are not working properly, and then focus on that, right? And that's what we've been doing. That's what we'll continue doing. And that's what you will realize, that the real value of buying our products, like you see there, I said, go and get our products and get it there. It's not like the money alone, it's the time, right? We're saving you a ton of time trying to figure out, if you go in here, what to do. Like you see there's singing, there's dancing, there's replicate motion, there's human video, 3D cartoon video. These are the stuff we've tested over hundreds and thousands of different variations to figure out what AI does well, right? What inputs it requires, what kind of prompt it requires, what does it do perfectly. That alone, that amount of headaches and research and development and testing, it saves you thousands of hours of your life, right? And you'll give up halfway because it's like too much to figure out across the board. And you'll see a YouTube video or somebody talk about something, and you're actually spending the money and testing these things. Like, hey, that looked really cherry-picked result. Like, I tried to create it, the prompt I put does not make any sense. I say it's a 3D video, it makes like a 2D video. I put it has to the lip sync has to be for like a minute, it only does 10 seconds. That's the reality, right? So that's the reason why we do these training sessions as well, to explain to you what all work we've done, what didn't work, what worked, and these are the reasons why you need to only use these features to get the best outcomes and best results, right? And it's going to become more and more important, where these companies are like saying, okay, you just come to the chat window and you tell me what you want, and the so-called agents will do everything. And I can tell you with honesty, as somebody who's actually spending millions of dollars, thousands of hours on it, like multiple dozens of people working on like this stuff to figure out, is it true or not? It's complete false. Okay. What we're noticing more and more is like, it's like a person has to be involved to basically solve the outcome. For example, if you are trying to publish a video for a YouTube channel, you got to have a good thumbnail. Somebody has to think through that. Somebody has to have a good title, description in place to get that video to get, when somebody's searching for it, will be actually be found. And on top of that, you have to make specific decisions. Okay. Now the trending type of videos are these. So I'm going to focus on that today, this month or this week or whatever, right? All this stuff, you need a human like you. And that's, people will pay huge amount of money for people like you. And I'm seeing this right now in real time as well, where, these companies are trying to work with us. The biggest thing, they're actually wanting to pay us more money. And unfortunately, I don't have time. I'll be happy to create a platform down the line. I was thinking about it, where we can guide those jobs to folks like you who are adept with this stuff, these tools and resources and stuff like that, and know-how, where the big point is this: hey, we want to do AI videos for our YouTube channel, but they should not look like AI slop, and they have to look like corporate branded videos. And we have this use case, let's say, right? Whatever the use case, the person who can understand and be the human in the loop, we say, of where I should use AI, where can I use my creativity, where do I use automation, is the one who'll make all the money, right? Going forward. And that person should have someone like us doing those hundreds of tests and tell you, please don't use these things with AI, use these things. When we say we put these in the application, we know for a fact that these are tested and these will work well. Don't try to do something else. Like, for example, if you try with AI right now, where we say, okay, you see, we have a human video and we have a cartoon video, right? You can't just go and say, hey, for the first 10 seconds, I want you to create a human lip sync video. Then after that, the next 10 seconds, I want you to do a cartoon video. And then the third second, these two cartoon and human characters come together. AI won't understand it. It just sucks at it. It's a fact. So what you're seeing is everybody's selling this, but it doesn't happen. So then what's going to happen is those people who realize this, which I've just explained to you, the reality where a human is still required to do the project management, we say, right? Orchestration, like to ensure the outcome is clear. Those are the most valuable people in the world. And we're going to be training you on this. We're going to be pushing this through more and more. And this is the reason why we do these live streams, to make sure you're ready for this eventuality, because all these companies, they can spend trillions of dollars, like the T, on data centers and these chips and stuff. They will need a whole bunch of these humans to say, hey, how do we utilize all this trillions of dollars we spent on it? And you will come into that picture, because those people who get it, the limitations and the advantages, like you, right? Now that you know, will end up being there. Because if you think about it, one server, like if you just put practicality, right? Let's just be clear, because people don't get it. And when I tell it in real numbers, they understand it, because reality is there. So if you see here, the cost, right? This is blurred out, but let me just highlight it, okay? So these are 8 servers. Nowadays, to run like these video models and stuff, you knew that. That's why OpenAI closed Sora, because it costs a lot of money compared to text to do video. So this is $53, right? I'm just gonna round it off at $53 an hour for these 8, right? So it's $53 an hour. So that's like, if you multiply that by, I know, simply if you do multiplication, right? So let's say 53 times 24 hours is basically 1,272 per day, okay? So 1,272 per day, and that's times that by 30 days, let's say, in a month, 30.5 in reality, but whatever. So that's basically going to be somewhere around, let's see here, let's do the math here quick. So about 38,160 per month, okay? That they're paying for like this higher end stuff, which is what is required for videos, for like some agentic workflows they keep talking about and stuff. So 38,160, and we're paying this kind of money right now per month, because we have a lot more than 8, we have hundreds of them, these servers. So don't you agree with me? If somebody's willing to pay $38,000 to run these so-called AI algorithms and stuff, they will pay at least double this for a person who knows how to use this stuff properly, right? Who knows how to leverage this, because they've spent all this money. They're committed to spending all that money. They're willing to bankrupt their companies to spend all this money, right? So then your value comes into play when you can get something out of all this spend, right? Meaning being able to create professional videos, or being able to create music videos, again, traffic, or being able to actually use that AI to create professional outputs, whether it's presentations or educational stuff or whatever. So what we are finding out, and with the companies we're working with, and that's the thing, I'm going to guide you through it as time goes on, hopefully as well, is what we're finding out is exactly this, which is, as time goes on, we're finding out that the people who get this, meaning they understand that things are going up in value, these companies are spending trillions of dollars with a T, and these AI systems are not like, oh, this genius level Einstein who's good with everything. It's more like they're good with specific use cases, and specific things have to be prompted by a human, and specific, steps have to be done, and project management is required by a human. Then they'll end up paying more than this to that person, because they're running out of such people, because they're firing all these people and not training them, right? So what's left, you, me, we folks will be a lot valuable. And I'm seeing it already, Unfortunately, I don't have more than 24 hours a day. I'm a limited person. So I say no to so many opportunities because of this, but you can, right? And that works in consulting, that works in basically leveraging it to be more productive in your sense. So what you could do before, whether it taken you a month, will now take you a couple of days. And you know exactly what those couple of days entails, and what are the limitations of it, and where a human comes, where AI comes, all that stuff. Okay. So that's what we will be teaching you as time goes on. And also in our Facebook group and stuff like that, that's the future. And I'm very confident in saying that that's the reality. People always ask, right? Like what's going to happen? Well, that's what's going to happen. You're going to have people spending like millions and billions of dollars per year on all this stuff. They will want to have people using it properly. And right now, people just are hype machines. They just don't have any detailed depth of information. They just have breadth of information, meaning they just like, okay, I will I just know that this video model is so great. Okay, guys, go check it out. That's it. Not like, oh, it does well in this. It doesn't do that well. I went deep into it and I figured out that when I'm spending like $50, I can generate one good video with all the credits. Nobody's going that deep anymore, right? Just the money is in the hype. The money is in all the basically jumping from one thing to the other, right? Oh, today I talked about CDANs. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about AI agents. Then I'm going to talk about OpenClaw. Then I'm going to talk about like NemoClaw. Then I'm going to say like these two suck. This new thing is better. And there's no detailed somebody sitting in and learning and actually focusing on it. And the few people who are doing it, they can say confidently that nothing is perfect, nothing is out of the box. And no matter how expensive it is, no matter how big the corporation is, they're all struggling with trying to fit a solution and trying to figure out 100 different solutions that which they built can do, and it's failing every single time. It can only do 2 or 3 things properly, and the person who understands that and he can squeeze the most out of that 2 or 3 use cases is the one who can charge any money. You can get all the results, all the stuff, and that's what we're going to be focusing on as we keep doing these updates to our applications, because that's becoming extremely important. In fact, because it's not about like you invested in Talking Photos or Clone Voice or any of our products there, right? You have to know what's the end goal here, right? Where are we headed? And I can tell you, it's not even our products that's going to set you apart. It's the reality of the situation where the people who are actually saying no to 100 opportunities, people who are not jumping from one thing to the other. Like, we didn't release an open claw thing and make money from it. We could happily done it, right? The reason why we're not is that's not the future. The real future is not going to be open claw. The real future will be, hey, this is AI, a pipeline or a workflow or steps I've created. And Paul gave me 9 steps. I can tweak around steps as I need to, right? I can change this image here. I can change this audio file here. I can edit this. I can edit that. And it'll still need a human. That little bit of stuff like that, 10% to 20% is needed. And nobody wants to do that 10%, 20% because they are brainwashed into thinking that today, if you waste your time doing that 10%, in 6 months, AI will do that 10% and you'll be left behind, right? I've been doing this stuff for 5 years in this AI space. I can tell you that's not happening. And it's not going to happen. It's just not possible. It's going to need a human. And all these people getting fired now, they're going to be rehired, especially if they have the skill set. Okay. And those few left who have this are getting paid insane amount of money. Like, they're paying a football player, soccer player salaries to these people to get them, because not many people who get it. This concept of understanding that, hey, you're investing all this money in these data centers, on these GPU servers and these AI servers. What are you going to do with it? What's the best way to get an ROI, return on investment on this? And different people have different opinions. Nobody has one clear opinion. And right now they're all in this goal of like, I'm going to sell them tokens. Like, hey, you want to create one video? Pay us 20 cents or 40 cents. Hey, that one video is not good. Pay us more cents, right? More tokens. Hey, you're trying to create like a simple thing like check the weather every day and report back to me what's the weather today, that your iPhone can do, your mobile phone can do. Oh, that's going to cost us 10 times the tokens, because it's going to check the weather 10 times a day. So that's going to cost you 10x more money. Like, it's basic. Why are you charging me? No problem. We got to make our money, right? From this other stuff that they're paying all this money on. So you'll start realizing this, and like I said, the value will be in that. And I hope that we can impart upon you as time goes on, because it's like crazy in terms of what we're seeing, right? These monopoly companies where they're saying we're fine being the 5 who have all this data centers and servers and stuff. All you other 5,000, 10,000 companies are going to come to us begging because we'll have all the electricity, we'll have all these data centers, all these chips, because we invested trillions of dollars in it. Now you pay 20% more tomorrow, like they're doing today, right? You pay. If you don't pay, somebody else will pay, right? And then what's going to be left over is like the few people who said, hey, I'm not going to play this game. I'm going to play the game where is the return on investment? Where is AI doing well? Where is it not doing well? I'm not going to play the game where I'm just going to sit and hope and give up, right? Where, hey, if I spend this time creating videos with Talking Photos or like music with Clone Voice, or I'm going to mix and match together with lip sync videos and stuff, because anyway, AI will do that all for me. And in 6 months, it's a waste of my time. And that's what I'm being told. Not happening. Okay. I can tell that with certainty, 100% certainty for sure. Okay. And so you're not wasting your time is what I'm trying to say. And we are not wasting our time also to test 100 different things and keep all these features for you, right? Which takes a lot of effort as well, which will save you time from wasting, right? It's much better, right? Like, imagine, why would you need a mentor, right? Like, a mentor is someone who can say, hey, I spent 10 years doing this. I made these 100 mistakes. These are all the mistakes. So when you tell me something, I can guide you what not to do and what to do. So that will save you 10 years of your time, correct? The same way what I'm saying is like somebody who spent 5 years on this AI stuff with servers and this vertical integration stuff and working with NVIDIA's engineers who are the top dogs in the game. I can tell you that the future is headed to a direction where humans are required, not required. And the type of humans like us, will be more valuable simply because the few people left who can access this stuff, it's going to be needing a lot of money from them, and it's only getting worse. So in other words, a few people who have actually got in earlier, like you with our products and with our training and stuff, will have an insane edge over others because they will start seeing, well, I got to pay $200 a month for this ChatGPT subscription. I got to pay another $200 with Google. Then I got to pay another $200 with this other Anthropic. So I'm paying $600 a month, and now I got to pay more for certifications and training and this and that. Like, it's costing me thousands of dollars a month, and I still don't know what to do because it's so much stuff that I got to focus on what to do and what not to do, right? And they'll give up, and I'll give you a bigger edge as well, right? And that's what is going to happen with all the stuff that's happening with this shortage of this GPUs, electricity costs going up and everything, okay? So hope that helps, okay? I wanted to be telling you this because if you want to go beyond just products or stuff, right? Whether you guys buy or gals buy our tools or not, it's okay. But the frustrations are real, right? The reality is that these things will only keep going whether I say so or I don't say so, you say so or don't say so, right? And because of that, we can see only one way this thing headed, and this thing will be headed into a situation where 5 companies or whatever will rule this AI space, and they will dictate the terms, and everybody else will be eaten alive by those companies. That's going to be your situation where now you will basically be, let's say, beholden by them, right? Meaning if they increase their prices, you have to pay. You have no choice, right? If you don't, whatever. Like, it's like the oil prices, right? Do you have control over what the oil prices are? If they go up, they go down, right? Same logic. You'll have no control over what you're going to pay for all this stuff. They're going to say it's a market price. Token cost is $2 per image, $2 per video, whatever they say ends up being the case. If somebody fights against it, there'll not be anybody left to fight against it, right? It's going to be the same 5 or 6. And that's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years for sure, as time goes on. Okay, it's getting worse, I'm telling you. Okay. So hope that helps. So in our next training coming up, we will be talking about exactly this 400 languages thing in CloneVoice. And also I want to talk about how to basically, bring about some of these things together. And there's the other thing I mentioned, right? We're going to be having this other feature where when you come into, let's say, for example, you come in to create music, one of the things we didn't give an option for here right now is for you to upload a vocal only song and add background music automatically, let's say, right? Stuff like that. We're going to be adding that feature in as well for CloneVoice. Now, in regards to the other updates, as I mentioned, we are actively working on Video Express 3.0. We don't want to rush that thing and say it's going to be soon, like in a few days, but then it's another 4 or 5 days would have made it even better out of the box. So we want to take our time, but it's top priority. Number 1 on our list. You will see it when it's out there. And when it's ready to go, you'll see it because we got to create the tutorials for it, revamp the whole application because we've been spending so much time on that. And after that will be Artistly V7. As I mentioned, that's going to come up after Video Express's update. And then, of course, there's some other cool things in between that we have for you, which is going to be cool. And as you can imagine, all these updates cost us money to do, right? And we're not asking any monthly fees or anything. So if you can, it'll be greatly appreciated. If you can go to any of our products and you can get them, it'll help us improve other products of ours as well. And similarly, if you want to buy all of our tools and you just are frustrated with all that, just email us at any one of the emails you see and say, hey, can you give me an invoice for all this stuff? And just give me the login details. I don't want to go through all that. We're happy to work with you. We'll help you out there. We'll appreciate you and help you out wherever we can to be flexible with you, right? In that as well, because sometimes it is, I understand, it's like too much. Like the number 1 question is, why didn't you give us all the tools? The main reason why we don't put them in one dashboard the updates, like there's like, you see how many toggles there are just in CloneVoice. Imagine if we put all our applications in this, it's going to be it'll blow your mind in terms of the complexity. And we also, for us to make updates to each feature will be too difficult as well. That's why we did the integration where you can go into your dashboard in your account, and now you can literally get the API key connected to all the applications, right? So hope that is clear. Hope you enjoyed this training. I know I kind of rambled a little bit on the data center side and the hardware side, but please understand this is more important because half of my time is going there, okay? And you can imagine how much of a headache that causes for us across the board. And that's another headache we're going to eliminate from you in a way with all the negotiations have to be done and all that stuff. And I can tell you it's going to be the case where all these smaller companies trying to compete against these open AIs and your Googles and your these big companies, they're going to disappear in about a year or less once the money dries up. from these venture capitalist guys, because the winners are being clear cut. It's all on the electricity. Who holds the electricity? Who holds the compute? Who holds these servers? Nobody has the kind of money these 5-6 companies have, right? And these companies will eat all the other smaller companies. Just like how, Walmart came in and they killed all the mom and pop stores. That's the scenario here, right? It's going to be the same case, and we can complain. Like Amazon came in and then they killed a lot of the other smaller, e-commerce companies with their pricing and stuff. Same logic is going to happen here as well, unfortunately. So you got to be ready for that. And I can tell you, we are the best position for that, which is great. But secondly, we're also the best position to train you on this eventuality, so you're ready for it and you can benefit from it. Because otherwise, what's the point? We're just having a conversation with no control over the matter, right? So to speak. So yeah. Hope that helps. Look forward to seeing you in other training sessions and stuff. And just, I really appreciate for the people taking the time to be here as well. It's not easy. I get it. We do really appreciate it. And what happens is all the comments you post, even if I couldn't get it to it, right, in live today, what I end up doing is I go to our team members and we actually go through every comment. We export all the comments and we read everything and we put it into a checklist of things to do. Okay, so if you made a comment and I didn't respond to it, know that definitely we'll get to it and we will get that sorted. That's how we come up with all these features and stuff I keep mentioning. Most of the time it's from comments like this. And you're like, hey, he didn't address my comment. Well, it's because we'll address it through an update or something that we'll end up doing, right? So don't worry about that in that sense. So thanks again. Hope you have a great day or great weekend coming up as well. And I'll talk to you very, very soon. And just watch out for our emails and updates, okay? Coming up, a lot of exciting stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks or so, okay? Thanks again. Have a great day now wherever you are. I'll talk to you soon.